Victoria would like to know how to speak to someone who's passed away.
Well, a soul is a soul is a soul is a soul. A soul in the body is not that different from a soul that's not in the body. And so all souls can communicate, just as these two souls can talk to one another. They are in the body, but you can also talk to souls that are not in the body. Now, if you feel unsure about this, we imagine that all of you have at times thought of someone far away, maybe in another state or across town, and you thought of them, and just at the moment you thought of the phone, who thought of who first? You were both thinking of one another, and your souls were communicating. And so you may speak to your dead loved ones just like you would anyone else. You just talk to them out loud if you'd like, and say whatever's on your mind. And if you and look and listen, you may find them leaving signs and messages for you. And we will tell you a quick story. These stories are going to be in the book that we are through this vessel, through automatic writing. And you can read them all there, but we will share one here, and it is this. When her father died, she was heartbroken. He died suddenly. There were many messages that came after, but we will tell you a specific one. At his funeral, she had bought a little plaque for him on the Father's Day prior to his death, and it said, "Dad, I love you forever." And after his death, she found it and she decided to put it on top of the casket, and she watched it be lowered into the ground with his casket and be buried with him. So one time, several years later, she was going through an especially difficult time in her personal life, and it was a time that she would have loved to have been able to call up her dad and have some words of wisdom from him, or even just hear his voice, or he always comforted her, and she missed him terribly. And so she was away on travel and feeling very blue and disillusioned. And so at that time, because of her religious traditions and so, she did not believe that you could speak to the dead or that it was appropriate to speak to the dead. But she was feeling just desperate enough to maybe try and test the water. And so she spoke out loud to her father and said everything that was on her heart, thinking perhaps it was just words bouncing off the wall. And when she was done, she said, "And Dad, if you can hear me, would you please give me a sign that you can hear me?" And so she dried her tears and she walked downstairs to the hotel gift shop to buy her morning coffee. And as she stood at the register to pay for her coffee, there on the register was the little plaque, the exact same one that she had buried with her father. And it said, "Dad, I love you forever." And she nearly fell down. She knew this was her sign. Her father sent the sign that he had heard her. So, dear one, we don't know who you're asking about, but whoever they are, you love them and miss them enough to ask this question of us. So we would say, just go on faith here. Go with a little faith that they can hear you, and just speak your heart and mind to them. And then watch and see what signs might come your way, what messages they might send back in return.